We have a really special treat. This year, as a part of our online schools fair, we actually have two organizations joining us that aren't necessarily schools, but they offer incredible programs that are really important to learners and the schools that they connect with. And one of those is, as you can see on the screen, Crimson Global Academy. Crimson Global Academy, known as CGA, is Asia's leading online international school for ages 8 to 18, offering internationally recognized curriculum such as IGCSEs, A-levels, and AP courses that can be taken part-time or full-time. Globally accredited and with teachers that have an average of 15 years of experience teaching, CGA was built for flexibility, academic acceleration, and personalized learning. And I am super excited to welcome to the stage Mr. Ronan Kearney.
Hi, Stephen. Thanks for
There he
having me.
is. Hello, Ronan. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I am wonderful. Now, where are you joining me from? Since you are a virtual school, much like we are a virtual company, where do we find you?
Yep. So I'm based in Melbourne most of the year. I am usually in the UK for a few months as well, working with our school that's kind of based for the Northern Hemisphere. But day to day, usually I'm down in the Southern Hemisphere in Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks for taking time out of your day to join us. It's really I'm excited to learn about Crimson Global Academy and how you support students and whatnot. So, just because you're not a typical entrant into our school fair, our online school fair, where you have a physical building and you're talking about pastoral care and those kinds of things. Just give us a quick introduction about describe what Crimson is to you and how you support students.
Yeah. So Crimson Global Academy is a fully online international school. We are accredited with the Ministry of Education in New Zealand, which is where our school first started, and then has expanded from that to include a school based out of the UK and also one in the US. Across our three main schools, we support students from primary age 8 right up to A level or AP age at 18, and really have everything that you would expect to see at an international school. So that is in terms of curriculum development from Key Stage 3 right up to A level for the A level pathway, but also assemblies, form times, pastoral leaders, heads of department, house competitions led by our student leaders. It is the same sort of package that you would expect to get from any international school, but of course with those differences of being fully online. So there is an element of flexibility there for our families, and there's a different way of socialization for our students as well because of the online nature of the school, and then the in-person events that we would run both locally for our families in different countries and globally, where they get to come together as a global community at our school.
Fantastic. My understanding is that one of the key ways that you interact with families, or that a way a lot of students come to you, is if they have either fallen behind or accelerate, or they drop out of what would be maybe the normal path of the education journey. Talk to me about that. Like, what does that look like if a learner comes to you and says, look, I either need to catch up, or there's extra help I need? Is that something where they come to your system and then they're in and they follow your path, or is it they come and you support them for a while and they go back to the school that they were at, or how does that work?
Yeah, we tend to get both. So for what we would say are full-time students who are fully with us for their online learning, they have come out of the mainstream education in their own country, and that can be because they want to accelerate. So about 40% of our students are accelerating in at least one of their courses,
Hmm.
or that they feel, or their parents feel, that they weren't getting the support they needed to be successful in the mainstream education that they were receiving. So for those full-time students, again, it can be that they want to be academically challenged. We place students by ability, not age, or it could be they have additional needs that couldn't be fully supported in their local school. So that could be things like an SEND requirement. So again, we have a qualified Senko who works with us and will be full-time with us from this September, who really looks after all of our students, ensures they've got all the support and the training for both them, their families, and staff to ensure that they're successful with us. On the other side, we've got our part-time students who might just be doing one subject with us, and that can be For instance, particularly in maths, we see students who want to accelerate faster than what they can learn in their local curricula.
Hmm.
So they may just take maths as an additional one to be ahead and just be really engaging and enjoying being challenged. And then we also have students who might be struggling with the subject in their local schools and go, actually, it would be great to have a little bit more support. And that can either be in a small group session, which is our sort of standard model for our group full-time students. But we also then offer a more bespoke, specialized one-to-one program where students who either need a lot of flexibility in the times of their learning or just want that one-to-one support, maybe for one subject, maybe for two or three, to really have a personalized teacher, tutor to go through with them. And that can either follow our curriculum, our international GCSEs, A levels, or APs, or it can align with what they're learning in school if they just wanted a supplementary rather than full curriculum delivery to really support what they're doing in their local school.
If somebody were to do that, let's just say hyper personalized, I need math help or I need physics help or whatever it is that, a full tuition kind of payment? Like, they got an application, full tuition, those kinds of things? Or is it really like an individualized program in terms of financial commitment and those kinds of things as well?
It's individual for financial commitment as well. Yeah. So we have a full-time application fee, which would be as a full-time student, and then everything else is a different fee depending on the level. So if you're taking one course, that's different if it's two or three. If it's supplementary versus you want to do a full GCSE, that would be different again.
We have a question from our community here. It says, if my son can't get entrance to a school until later in the year, can they join Crimson Academy first to start the year before they get admission and then transition into the school?
Yep, absolutely. So we have families who have done that. They know they're going to be moving, sometimes halfway around the world, and they don't want too much disruption in their child's learning. So what they do is they might start with us. They may continue afterwards with one or two subjects, or it might just be to keep them at the correct level to be able to join the curriculum where the school they're moving into later in the year, and that they haven't fallen behind in any subject. And again, all of those are absolutely fine to use CGA for, as well as the full-time curriculum as well.
So if a student studies online with you, you're fully online, how do they take physical exams or the exams that they need in order to get certified, et cetera?
Yeah. So for our international GCSEs and international A levels, we have actually been partnering with Pearson EdXL over the past 2 years and have been working with them and have now fully implemented and developed their remote invigilation service, which is all of our students can take all of their GCSEs, all of their A levels fully remotely from home, supervised by the exam board. So again, that really supports our students, that they can be based anywhere in the world and know that they can get their qualifications the same way if they'd been in a physical school.
Fantastic. What's the biggest challenge that you find when you're it sounds like people who are going to join Crimson are already thinking in an innovative way, first of all. But what are the challenges that you run up against? I heard you say earlier that you have times when you have in-person meetings in the different countries that you serve, et cetera. But what are the other maybe sort of unique pieces that you've put into your idea as a school so that you're incorporating socialization and those other pieces that obviously young learners need?
Yep. So I think one of the key bits that came first is even just things how we run assemblies, house meetings are maybe a little bit different from traditional schools in that it's actually student led, supported by their pastoral deans. So we really want to use assembly as a way to showcase the interaction our students have with each other and also what they're doing in their local communities. So every assembly starts with, of course, music performances from both staff and students. Can't just be the students, but also then showcasing and highlighting the key interests that students have outside of school, as well as the connections they've made within school, and really using it to celebrate student success as well as their own individual projects or interests. So that is highlighting the clubs that they're running. We have in our Iraqi campus, which is our Southern Hemisphere campus, 37 student or staff-led clubs running online. It's not just online clubs, it is also things like Cooking Club, where they're all doing it live at the same time with each other, and really thinking about how we can bring all those elements into an online environment. The other side of that, of course, is wanting to see how do our students actually get on with each other if we do have these in-person events. And this year we've had, actually November last year, our first international school trip to Vietnam. And then our first student camp was just 2 weeks ago in Nelson in Auckland, where we had students from mainly New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and Singapore all join us to actually be able to catch up in person. And again, it's just so great for us to see how easily they interact socially with each other and how seamlessly, they kind of support each other as a school community in person as well as online.
I'm going to ask you what's going to be like I don't know if this is going to be a curveball or what, but
yeah.
On one end, you have the traditional school, and we've seen a bunch of those. And then the other end, you have what we would call, Crimson right now. But what you just described is, it blends into that traditional school. And that in the traditional schools there, there's just so much that you have to do online now, right? It's so much is digital first. Where do you see, as your vision from Crimson, do you see those two pathways sort of blending into the future? And if so, like, is it the immediate future, or is that still 5-10 years out?
Yeah, so I think the blending's already happening. We have partner schools in several countries, so in China, in New Zealand as well, where we teach some classes for them because they cannot, have enough teachers for the entire curriculum. So that blending between traditional and online schools is already happening. For us as a school ourselves, thinking about our vision for our students is very much a blended. So we want, lessons to be online, of course, to have a really active social environment online for students, but in no way would we negate the importance of those social interactions in person or being part of local communities as well. So for us, getting to the point where our global network also allows students to come together in person is just the end goal and already happening. So we run science practicals in New Zealand, Australia, and are looking to expand that now to Asia this year too. So our students can come together to do their in-person science practicals, as well as using the technology that we have online to do virtual practicals and trials of it. And the same for the social side to actually be able to come together in different countries to meet up socially or for academic reasons, as well as learning in that online environment.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. Another question from our community. Do you offer special courses for students with learning challenges like ADD or autism?
Yeah, so we don't offer specific courses for them, but all of our staff are trained and have a SENCO or special educational needs coordinator who trains regularly to support students with additional learning needs. So what for us, what happens is for any student who has a special educational learning need, before they join the school, the family and the student would meet with our SENCO to talk through the needs and how they could be best supported, be that a one-to-one environment or be that in a group lesson, to ensure that we can then go through with each of their classroom teachers before their first lesson, how best to support them, what works well for them in lessons, things to avoid in lessons, how to utilize paired work for them, group work, as well as individual work to ensure that they're fully supported and have everything they need to be successful from their first lesson.
Fantastic. Final question for you. What are you most excited about with Crimson Global Academy? I mean, this is cutting edge stuff. I'm sure you get lots of unusual questions and lots of parents coming to you saying, how do I fit this into what I think is normal? Yeah. What are you excited about for the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah. So I think the best bit for me about Crimson is it is the personal connections with students from all over the world. So, that can be from doing interview prep for universities to helping them organize their book club or their Minecraft club. And I think one of the big things for us is that development across. So the curriculum, GCSE A level curriculum in particular, what we run across two of our campuses, is a strong gold standard curriculum. So we know students are getting a really positive experience academically. But what we really enjoy doing is looking at, okay, how can we then improve this from both parent perspective, student perspective, and teacher perspective? How can we utilize new technologies that are coming out to improve and enhance the online learning experience? And then how do we, both pastorally as well as academically, support these students? So one of our new ways of engaging families this year is our LIFE program, which is effectively their pastoral program that they're doing with their form tutors, but really focusing on key goals each term, such as physical activity in their local communities, getting involved in volunteering, and really building out the whole profile of the person, not just their academics online. And we've seen that as a really big bonus and has really enthused the students and actually engaging with each other, getting involved in more clubs. And that's been really great to see this year.
Fantastic. Well, Mr. Ronan, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Really appreciate it. Really love learning about Crimson Global Academy. Wonderful to have you as a part of our fair this year. But now it's time to show your video, which of course is not a tour of your campus, but I'm excited to see what it is.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Have a great day. And we will bring Crimson Global
Welcome to Crimson Global Academy, a world-leading global online private school for aspiring students. From North America to Asia, to Australia and New Zealand, to Europe, Africa and Middle East, students join classes from around the world to be inspired and engaged as they achieve an accredited, internationally recognised education. What makes our school environment so special is the collaboration between our dedicated families and our school faculty. Together, we unlock each student's extraordinary future. From day one, we designed our school to be online. Our ability-based approach works to ignite a passion for learning, where students' academic performance is not limited by age. Students can complete their primary, middle and high school years online at CGA, at the pace and with the mode of learning that suits them best. Our students have triumphed against global benchmarks and have received some of the highest marks in the world. Our students' internationally recognised curricula opens doors to top universities, both internationally and locally. Dreaming of admission to Cambridge, Oxford, Princeton, Stanford, Columbia? These are some of the universities CGA alumni have been admitted into. We encourage students to dream big to unlock their limitless potential. We're seeing a rise in enrolments among student athletes who are seeking flexibility, and likewise performers whose schooling needs to fit around their commitments outside of the classroom. World-travelling families at CGA get to experience the world around them as they gain an accredited education. Rurally based students that prefer the lifestyle of learning from home, and those seeking a more inclusive and supportive learning environment too, are thriving at CGA. We partner with our families and provide them with the tools at their fingertips to track their child's academic progress, while also staying connected with their holistic development across our global community of campuses. Students join a diverse community of learners from around the world, enriching cultural understanding and global perspectives. Underpinning all of this is our world-class faculty. Our teachers bring 20 years plus experience to the classroom and teach in small classrooms averaging 10 to 12 per class, or through one-on-one settings. Our teachers bring with them a legacy of first-class student results, and we have recruited them from a global network of educators who are among the best in the world. Are you ready to start your journey at the world's leading online school? Join other CGA families with world-class schooling online and unlock an extraordinary future.